today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're going to take a look at a pedal. But before we jump into that, I'd like to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel, click on the notification bell. Your interaction with us helps us interact with people in the industry. And in this case, we went to Zzounds to get a Keeley pedal, where Keeley has helped us directly. But for this one, we went to Zzounds and we got in the Octa Psi. We wanted to find out what that's all about.
I think this was a your call because I was a little intimidated by this. It has two things I like. I like Fuzz. I haven't found a use for it. How do you say that?
In your weekly play.
Yeah, my weekly play. But I do like Fuzz, and I love Octave stuff. Mm-hmm. Again, haven't found a use for it, but I love it. So, but anyway, we'll get into it. Actually, no, I'm going to say it right off the bat. This is kind of a shorter video. We're not diving into everything. Right. And I think part of the reason, I'm going to just say it right up front so you don't have to say it in the comments, is because we're out of our depths.
Sure.
I think to some extent. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm reading the little chart on the back here, and I'm not even sure what they mean by some of it.
Right.
And maybe that sounds stupid to somebody who knows, but...
I agree with you. I think I had a Boss harmonist at one point. I'm like, oh, I can like play dual lead lines. I'm like, I can't figure this out.
Right.
And so it's in there. I promise you.
That said, there's a lot of really cool stuff in here that you don't have to be like an expert in using pitch shifting in your playing to get into. So we wanted to get into some of that and look at that real quick. So it's kind of a shorter video. We're going to twist some knobs. We're going to play a couple clips. Pat, why don't you get us started on the first clip?
Okay. For the first clip, I grabbed this lovely Les Paul with thornbuckers in there that was rewired by David Barber. Fabulous instrument. And I started out with the octave side because as I was playing around, I thought, man, that sounds like an organ. So I played like a 3-chord pass with that. And then I kicked on the fuzz and played a very searing organ. And then some crazy like single note stuff. And just wanted to see what it could do there. And here it is.
This is where I figured out just how out of my depth I was, because I was like, hey, I've always loved like the Allman Brothers thing and how they do those like harmony lead lines. And I was like, so even, being whatever, got online, I was like, looked up what was the harmony guitars in like Memory Elizabeth Reed. It came back to like thirds, right? Major thirds or whatever.
He went to the chart and went, okay.
I'm like, well, M3, is that the thirds? And I'm like, that does not sound like the thirds. So, and then there's like a big M3 and a little M3 and like minor third, major third. Maybe one of those will be right. And it just didn't sound right. So I did play around. I think I ended up on P5, whatever that is. But, we're trying to be a little honest. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we know about pedals and have done a lot of pedals over the last 5 years of doing this channel, but this is not the wheelhouse, people. I'm sorry. But anyway, this is what it sounds like. I thought it sounded really cool. of the video. We're going to take a minute, turn some knobs, let you hear some things. This is kind of a quick look at this, maybe. There's 3 different fuzzes. Mm-hmm. So, oh man, I got to bend over and look. You have punch, psi, and scoop. So, toggle. Let's do this. I have everything set. So these 3, the pedal looks so intimidating.
Right.
But it really, when you're talking about the fuzz, you have fuzz, level, tone. That's like every fuzz pedal you've ever owned, right? And then your on-off switch. So the only kind of unique thing going on right here is that we can switch between these 3. So I'm going to kick it on, let you play a little bit in the first one, then flip the toggle switch so we can just hear all 3. We're going to keep the level, tone, and fuzz all at noon just so you can hear the difference, I guess.
Les Paul Classic, Thornbuckers, Bridge, Tyler, DLS. Yeah, I liked all 3 of them with this humbucker, that's for sure.
It's powerful. And of course, if you start messing with the tone and the knob and the levels and stuff, you're going to get a lot of different things. If we do that, oh my gosh, what if you just kind of like tug on one chord for a second and I'll do it and just like maybe turn the tone knob a little bit to give them an idea. So I said I wasn't going to do that, but I mean, it shows you a little bit. All right, so there's the fuzz side. Now we jump over to the octave side, or the we call it the octave side, but it's a lot more than the octave side, right? The pitch side, I guess, would be a better word for it. You have this dial here, which takes you through all these different settings. If you turn the pedal over, it has them all marked out. If you go to the website, they have it all marked out. Maybe I'll put a copy of the chart here on the screen just for a second so you can see. You can do a whole lot of things. You can do octaves. Mm-hmm. You can do detuning. So if you wanted to turn it into like kind of a whammy bar pedal, you can do different
intervals.
Different intervals and stuff like that. And then on each one of those settings, you have 3 settings. So you have another little toggle right here, and you have an up, a middle, and a down. Mm-hmm. I'm going to show you that with the octave setting, and then understand that you got to look at that little chart to see what's going on. Because sometimes it's as simple as in the up position, we have an up octave. In the middle position, we have an up and a down octave. And in the down position, we have a down octave. That one's pretty simple, and 2 guys like us can understand that. Other ones, it's a little more complicated. Like the P9 setting, I think up was just, we called it P9, I think. Was it P9 or P5? And then it was like in the middle was P5 and an octave down. So like it jumbles things up a little bit. Do we just want to hear that?
Sure.
Okay. So then if you want to, like, say we're in this low octave and we want more of that low octave, with the blend knob, I should be able to turn it up. And so the blend knob, we can take it out or we can put it back in. Now you might ask, well, what if you have it
for both
in the middle? What's happening then? So
You play chord?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to remember. Like, what happens if is it the high?
If you push it down and take it to the left,
You take out the low.
Right.
Push it down, take it to the right. So this is a push pot, right? So if I push it down, I'm going to let them play, and I'm going to push it down every time I move it. So if I don't push it down, it's still blend. Mm-hmm. It's going to bring both octaves up more the higher you turn it. Once you push it down, you go to the left, it's bringing in more low, right? Taking out the high. And if you go to the right, it's
taking out the low.
Taking out the low, bringing more high. And so that's the fundamental way to use those knobs. Right. You have to figure out like what's happening on every other setting. So like, should I just start spinning that knob while you play?
You could spin the knob, and we could do it with or without fuzz, because you'll hear what it does.
Let's do it without fuzz for now.
Right, yeah.
Maybe go back and do it again with fuzz, but
yeah.
Pat knows that my this
been very fuzzy down here tonight.
Yeah,
it makes us very fuzzy.
Right. Because for the 45-second clip you saw, there was yeah.
A lot going on.
Go for it.
We can put this in our chorus series.
So, wow.
I think I used one of those two on one of my clips. That like the organ sound.
So, I think, well, there's some other things going on here too. You can, like, if we take both these buttons and press them down and hold them, it will flip. So right now I think it's fuzz into octave. I'm going to turn it on and then do that, and we'll see what happens. If you hold this button for 1 second, we've now toggled that. So I'm going to go octave up. We can give it a lot. Go ahead and play once.
That's fun.
My wife just texted. She said, "Sounds like a funeral in here."
Well, and the acoustic guitars, or there's going to be one back there. Somebody's singing back here. A couple of those hollow bodies are back there singing.
Yeah. So now you can also do what we just did. That I like that latching thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
You can also do that with plugging in an expression pedal. You can also plug in like a tip ring. Like if you have a double switch thing where you can control those switches remotely, you can plug that in. So there's a lot more you can do with it. Not trying to hit every single aspect of the pedal because there's too much to hit for what time we have tonight. So with that, I think we're going to jump back into clips. We actually have 2 more clips for you. And in the first clip, we are going to... I tried something a little different. Instead of turning the fuzz on at all, I just went to the octave side. I think I had a high and a low octave, but then I got the Wampler Catacombs. And I turned... Normally we have the pedal sitting here. I must have set it back there. But I got the Wampler Catacombs and went to one of Brian Wampler's presets on there, turned up, I think it was a hall reverb and a tape delay. Mm-hmm. Trying to get that kind of like shimmery sound thing going on. You had said, I'm using the Keeley pedal, then I had a Wampler pedal and the JHS pedal, because I did it in stereo. The JHS 3 Series rotary pedal got a little jacked at us and it fell off and hit the mic in the middle near the end, and you will hear it. So
the ghost of Josh Scott.
Yeah.
Hey boys, don't forget me.
Yep, you wanted to be a part of the party. Here it is.
All right, so for my last clip, I grabbed the PRS SE NF3, and I wanted to just find one of the ones of the settings that does something kind of unique, although many of them do, and just play some single note stuff and kind of hear how it tracks and how it follows. And you can do it for all kinds of things. There's things we've heard tonight that I'm like, oh, if you're shooting for video games, or you want to like make your guitar sound like Bernie Worrell on a synth, you know? Yeah. So I just picked some single note stuff and kind of noodled around, and here's what I did. That's all the clips we have for you on the Octa Psi. Take a minute for some final thoughts. Go ahead. I have to hold it. Right?
Oh yeah,
that's the rules. I might have been the one that wanted to get it. I don't know.
Oh, guaranteed.
Okay, fine. I wanted to get this in. I was really curious. I thought maybe it'd be his new spirit animal, but I find this would be a pedal to spark some creativity. Right? Yeah. Like for where we play in a house of worship every week, we could maybe find a couple spots, maybe, depending on what song. But maybe it's a hard maybe. But like some of the things in here, if you sat down at your desktop and you wanted to write some hooks, or you were sitting there with a looper, I think you could do a lot of stuff. I love the fact that you could get the guitar to sound like an organ. That's something that maybe could use possibly. But with the fuzz and the octave, it just lends itself to complete wankery, right? And just kind of a release and just having fun. So I know this could be a serious tool, and people probably use it as a serious tool. For me, it was fun to explore. I was joking that like if you're shooting, if you're creating backgrounds for video games or whatever, there's so much in here that with someone else who maybe was more familiar with this could help walk through it, maybe. But I had fun with it. And I think, not every pedal is going to be like, this is going to land on my pedal board. I'm going to use it every week. It's like, well, what's out there? And Keeley's making some interesting stuff, and they're putting a lot of stuff in this form factor. And they've been great to us, and we wanted to get this in, and I had fun with it. I mean, again, when you do a couple hours of shooting a Fuzz video, things get a little fuzzy because you can only play Fuzz one way, and that's loud.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Now, we've done a couple of guitars recently, and Pat's done clips with this pedal, and those have always been really cool, and it was a different place to go, too. For me, I mean, don't get me wrong. It might sound like I don't like it when I'm like, you definitely were the one that wanted to get it in, because sometimes I'm like, I think that's a little too far out of our wheelhouse to get in and record.
Right.
But then he wants to do it, and we do it, and it ends up being a lot of fun. Ends up being cool. I totally dig the pedal. I really do. I think the fuzz on it sounds great.
Right.
And sometimes fuzz pedals, I feel like, are really hard to get a good sound out of. For me, being an old curmudgeon. But I think the fuzz sounds great, and then I really like the Octave stuff. I think there's some cool stuff in there, and that could be useful. And if I had it around longer and played with it longer,
right,
I think I could really get into it.
And we were talking off camera before we started. We both have Boss OC2s, and we've used them in different ways in the past. Like, we've both had them for 20 plus years, probably.
Right.
And we use them in different ways, right? So,
well, the OC2 is a staple on my board for years and years and years. And so, I mean, I really do like the Octave thing, but that's different. It's that more analog.
Yeah, and it's single note. You can't play a chord.
You can't play a chord. You can't. And this polyphonic kind of stuff is really cool. So, Keeley's just killing it. Everything they put out. I think I hit a lot of like the features with the switching the order and being able to momentary latch that switch and then putting the expression pedal in. Did I mention that? Expression
it's
pedal?
Coming up.
Yeah, because I'm going to play this one out with the expression pedal on the Octave setting. So get the Mission EP one out to do that. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching as we took a quick dive into this. If you take the time to subscribe, hit the like button, notification bell, any of that stuff, we'll probably know the next pedal better than we knew this one. But that's what helps us, form relationships with people like Zzounds and with Keeley Electronics and get cool stuff in to share with you. So with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear.
This is so confusing. Just fuzz off, man.
No, fuzz on. You're like, no, fuzz off. Fuzz you.